Joe Vitale, Vitale Wealth Management with the Gradient Investments Weekly Market Update. All information is gathered as of the week for July 14th, 2025. Apologize, I was out for a couple weeks, did a little bit of a world tour with Gradient and my wife, so it was really nice. Glad to be back. I hope everybody had a wonderful 4th of July holiday and our Independence Day. Let's get into what's going on. Major U.S. indices finished the week slightly lower after the S&P and the NASDAQ hit record highs the week prior. The S&P slipped 0.29, the NASDAQ dipped 0.07, and the Dow declined 1.1. Now, bonds as measured by the Bloomberg U.S. Aggregate also lost ground, falling 0.37%. Silver surged 14-year high as investors sought alternatives to gold. Silver is over $35 an ounce for the first time in a very long time. Bitcoin also made headlines, climbing roughly 9% during the week to reach a new all-time high of $118,000 per coin on Friday. Over the weekend, it extended its rally, topping $120,000. It was over $123,000 this week. It pulled back just a little bit. This week could be a pivotal for cryptocurrencies as lawmakers prepare to vote on several key pieces of legislation: the Clarity Act, the Genius Act, and the CBDC Act, which could shape the regulatory landscape for digital assets going forward. Already a lot of positive response. Looks like it's going to happen. The administration announced new tariffs last week on over 20 countries and extended the 90-day pause until August the 1st. So that's actually one thing that people don't talk about. Everything is tariffs. Well, even Johnson & Johnson with news today said that, you know what, they factored it in. They still have forward guidance. They're not worried about it. It hasn't been affected them. But also, what we're not seeing is the billions and billions of dollars of revenues the country is getting additional income from the revenue, from the tariffs. Talk about the upcoming economic releases, a full slate of key economic reports offering fresh insight into inflation trends and consumer strength. On Tuesday, which was yesterday, the CPI was released, providing an updated look at inflation and the consumer level. The PPI follows. Today came out, offering a read on wholesale inflation. And then tomorrow, retail sales will shed light on consumer spending habits, followed by consumer sentiment report on Friday. We've seen the reports come out already. We've seen some positive response. It's a lot, pretty much in line with what expected. We are seeing growth. We're seeing prices start to come down, which is very good. We should see a rate cut coming up pretty soon as well. On July 18th, together the consumer sentiment report will be Friday the 18th. Together, these reports will give investors a clear picture of both inflation pressures and the resilience of the U.S. consumer. Everything is pretty positive for the most part right now, so we'll see how that continues. Market outlook. All eyes, of course, are being on the CPI report. They want to see moderate inflation, which is what it's been, and whether higher tariffs really have not been impacting the prices. We're seeing a lot of people and all the tariff hoopla have been pulling back, realizing it's not as bad as they thought it was going to be. That's because a lot of it has been negotiated back and forth. So let's talk about the Federal Reserve cut that hopefully they should cut as a result of that. This week, major U.S. banks will kick off the second quarter earnings seasons, offering a fresh glimpse into how companies performed in Q2 of 2025. And like we said, income, earnings move the market. According to the FactSet, analysts are projecting average earnings growth of 4.8% for the S&P 500 companies. If that holds, it would mark the slowest pace of earnings since Q4 of 2023. Which we'll see how that goes. We're actually calling for 3 to possibly 4% growth this year, so we'll see. And they're calling for maybe 10% by the end of the year on the S&P, which we're about halfway there already. Recent activity, there were no changes into the Gradient portfolio of investments. We are looking a little bit more at the G40I, which is our international portfolio, very large company dividends. We're moving some people into that more now. It's doing very well. Let's talk about some of the stocks in the news. So, Southwest Airlines, which is owned in the Core Select, surged 9.82% last week, hitting new all-time highs ahead of the upcoming earnings season, because of the optimism in the airline industry and strong earnings from the rival Delta, which boosted sentiment across the sector. Also, Southwest did some changes as far as paying for seats and so forth. Let's talk about NVIDIA, which is in the G33 and Core Select, made history last week, becoming the first publicly traded company to reach $4 trillion in market cap. So NVIDIA continues to be super strong. Over the last 5 years, shares surged 1,460%, around 18% year to date, and 4.2% last week. So NVIDIA continues to be a story just doing wonderful. So that's it for this week's market commentary. Thank you so much for being part of the Vitale Wealth family. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you know the number, 855-756-5700. Visit us at vitalewealth.com. Hope you're having a great summer. Get your travel plans going. And remember, especially in retirement, let us help you have a great retirement. Travel, do the things you want to do, spend time with family. We're here to help. Reach out. We've got some great insight for you. We'd love to help you. God bless you. We'll see you again next week.